Eh, children. Eh,
Mm, mm, mm. Why did my people have to go through this thing? Hmm? What happened? What are the real evidence of what happened and why did my people have to go through these things? And as you understood, I said my people. So I have the right to talk about it. It's crazy on the misinformation that's out there where our people are my people, brown complected brothers and sisters that's been on this land before the 1600s. You have to understand that you've been manipulated, huh? You have to understand that this was a plan, a program for the most powerfulest beings on this planet to fall. Now, it couldn't be in an essence of I'm going against. So that's not how this energy came. Hmm? It had to come mink, wolves and sheep clothing. The reason why that's being said. These people came. These beings. I'm gonna say beings. I'm not gonna categorize And we only talking about the ones in this area that did this. It's called the triangle trade, not the Pacific trade, not the Pacific, not they ain't got nothing to do with the Pacific. Ain't got nothing to do with the Atlantic. Ain't got nothing to do with the Indian is the Indian Ocean. Ain't got nothing to do with it. Got this is the triangle trade that we experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you some of the truth about these things. Now the big question is why did this happen to our people? Why? Huh? We ain't gonna put no Bible. We ain't gonna go into no biblical history on this because this is only a few hundred years back, and I'm able to obtain the information. Huh? Huh? Did a source of energy do this? Yes. This is why I'm making this video because we cannot blame nobody but ourselves. Hmm? On why this happened. If you can see, hold on. Now you can see in the background right there the trade route. The biggest trade route is what started first in the orange. So it was goods coming from this area, the west side, the W, the three arrows, the west side. This was started the trade. At this point, it wasn't people. It was oil, lumber, fruit, vegetable, rice, silk, weed, tobacco, sugar, molasses, wood. It wasn't people that we was trading, as you can see, with Britain, because Britain had all this over here, Europe, and they already conquered and controlled Africa. At this point of time, this is the top portion of Africa is French Africa. It used to be Europe, Africa, North of Europe, Africa. So at this time, they didn't already conquered this trade route. We stopped trading across the Atlantic. We stopped going that route, and the bisons and the stuff that's in that area. You know what I'm saying? We as a matter of fact, we didn't have to. You see the route that we went straight across to Britain. Britain did all the trading in Europe, Africa, what they call the Middle East. Where's the Middle East? Nobody know where the Middle East is at. All the way up to that's not India. At this point in time, that's not India. You have to understand Queen Elizabeth started the Indian Company over here, what they call East Indian, India. So she started that. That wasn't called India at that time. It was Hindustan and Bharat at that time. So Europe took over all that, this area, and goods. The orange is the goods was coming from the Caribbean islands, from Jamaica, from Haiti, coming from North America. North America. Hold on, let me tell you. Let me give you a really interesting thought. North America is up here in Canada and stuff like that. What they call the North right now is really Central America. Huh? It's really Central America. But at the same time, let's go with the program. So the trading was already started by the, if you can see, there's no goods coming. There's no goods coming back. Hold on, let me go back to this Mapateria. These are goods that's coming back, but it's short. It's short rooted. So that means that it's being. It looks like it might be traded, or did this stuff come back? Because over here, it's going all into the Congo, Well, we did gonna get over here to Ethiopia. But all this the British own. The England and the French and the Scottish. Y'all don't know who the real Scottish is, but we just gonna stick with the program. So if we owned this route and there was no people, how in the world, put a T on that, how in the world we get to this pink where it says slaves? And look, from we gonna get into that later. But why did this right here, this become slaves? Why did this happen to the people? If you notice, it didn't happen to the people in North America first. It happened over here in the Europe and Africa and stuff like that. You have to also understand, even in the north and on the west side, the West Indies that they call it, all these lands mass and all these people have been conquered. North, even up here in Canada, but North America was the last. Let me say this with my thoughts. North America was the last portion of land that got colonized. They got taken over. They got bamboozled. Got hoodwinked. Got some salt when they thought it was sugar. That's what they was. Oh my God. But let's get back to it. Let's get back to the why. Huh? This is 2025. All this stuff happened, started, and like the people, I ain't talking about the trading. The trading way back when. The trading back when. You have with Joseph L. Smith, the Golden Tablets was showing, 500 BC people from Egypt coming over here. Mhm. But why did this happen to my people? We seen things when we was dealing with the British Isles before became independent from them. But when we was dealing with them, they had objects. They was dealing with things that we wasn't familiar with. Um, they was enticing. Yeah, okay, we go back to a story. Remember Samson and Delilah? They depicted Delilah as a white lady. Depicted Samson as a brown man. Huh? These people is brown, ain't no black people. Stop calling my people black. That's what's wrong. That's why some of this stuff happened. Calling my people black. Black don't mean that. You do anything to black. But anyway, we seen these things and we got enticed. These things wasn't around us. We was dealing with a whole different program. Then when we start trading back and start experiencing these things, and these things is coming with diseases, these coming with manipulations, these things coming with witchcraft, these things coming with objectarians, these things coming with abdats. All these things is coming later, behind. It's always been a program. They've been because of North America, South America started Egypt and Ethiopia, Ethiopians, Ethiopia, the Kush, all them came from here. The cocaine mummies, all them came from here. They knew about this area because of, and go check out the 18th dynasty. Maya, the tomb of Maya, all that's over here, North, South, and Central America. There's only cocaine grown in South America. So how do they get in a mummy in Egypt? because that's where these people is from. This is where it started from. This North America where they depicted. This is where all the goods was coming from. This is the portion that they needed to conquer the world. And we ain't gonna say who they is because we don't. I'm not there, so I don't know. I can't say it's no white man. I can't say it's no brown man. I can't say it's no green man. I can say it's an energy that did this to my people, and that energy came with this heavy. What is it? Manufacturing goods, luxuries, huh? They got beer, iron, and all that. We got all that. We know we was dealing with gold and all that, but at the same time, you had manufactured goods, luxuries. See, these things that's been enticed when they brought them over here. And the man fell for the women. They was foreign objects. They was being hypnotized and stuff like that. Waking up, oh, what did you do? Waking up, you you feeling a certain type of way now. You feeling different. Oh, it really hit different. You came out of that place hitting different. That lady that did something to you, ask Richard Pryor. That lady that did something to you that you can't explain and you cannot tell because you can't explain it. You better not tell. Then you will have to explain it. Then they proposed Pocahontas. Pocahontas was breaded. Pocahontas was implanted for them to open up that energy, to open up to our people. Huh? And our people fell for it. And the worst thing we could have did is put down our guards and allow them to our women. Allow this energy because they've been trying to take over before the transatlantic slave trade that they say. Before that, the Spaniard and the French was over here and they couldn't prevail. They had all this, the Caribbeans and stuff like that. They was easing down the road. Huh? They was easing down the road. But they couldn't get over here. We was too strong. We was too powerful. Our military was too strong. And it still is. So they wanted to conquer. They wanted what we have. Not had. We still have it. It's ours. This North America, this is ours. We just got to know how to get it. We got to stop blaming people because we did this ourselves. Look what we're doing today. I don't care about everybody else. All up in here in the British Isles and in Europe and Africa, all this stuff was already going on. They was already killing themselves and raping babies, raping. I'm sorry, YouTube, raping babies and molesting boys. They've been already doing that. They was already doing that. Our children, human trafficking. They was already doing that. That's what came over here with the luxury. Things you never seen before. And once it was done to you, you can't turn back because they had objects that will make you don't want to turn back. That hurt. Okay, don't poke me no more. Don't peel back no more of my skin. We wouldn't do it. We wasn't horrific and torturous. We weren't terrorists. They had all this time from 6,000 years ago, all the way to the six to the when they started this started this when it came over here. People start coming over here. That was in the 1700s, but in the 1600s, them people that came over here was not slaves. They were workers. They built the sugar plant. No, they didn't build it. They worked on the sugar plantation. That means that that sugar plantation was already built by them people that was there. Cause you see the manufacturers that we was doing, that we was putting out sugar, molasses, and wood. We was already putting those things out. So those what they came over and put them on the plantation. That plantation was already there. It ain't like they built it. Hmm? Rice and silk. This is what they was coming to get. They didn't want to pay for it no more. They just take it. Yeah, just take it. And the only way for you to take this power from us is you have to manipulate us with manufactured goods and luxury. You have to. You bring in guns, clothing. Why we want to dress now? We want to act political now. See? Oh, that didn't- that came later. No, they were just getting look guns, clothes, iron, beer. They was getting drunk and just conquering when they. Oh my god. Hmm. And when those supplies, this was earlier, but when those supplies, this is all in the what the late 1700s when they start bringing the slaves over here. No, 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 no. I'm sorry, the 1500s when they start bringing the people to the Caribbeans and stuff like that, Roanoke Island and stuff like that. They just started bringing the people from what they would say Africa over here until the late 1800s. I mean 1700s. Sorry about that. Cross that out. Cut that out. Rewind that. That didn't come later. Not in the 1600s like they try to say. You see in that purple, they call them slaves because they was workers, they was servants. That's the only word that they know as a servant, as a slave. They was paying these people though. They was paying them. But by the time they brung them over here, it was so much mixture that they wasn't African no more because our blood, O type, our blood is the only blood that can take anybody in the world, but we can't only can take ours. Hmm? And we spread it all over the world, but at the same time, I'm just saying that we took over. When the Africans came over here and they started mixing, by now they didn't mixed out. There ain't no African blood, none of that, none of that. They started coming back over here in the 1700s. So this had to happen because of the manufactured goods. Remember, you're not used to these manufactured goods. You're used to just flowers and plants and herbs and things like that. You wasn't no hunter gatherer. You didn't eat no meat. We wasn't eating no meat. Them animals was there to help us, not to eat. What the hell? Nah, say anything on the earth you want to eat and destroy. Piece of nine. You want to eat and destroy everything. You want to eat and destroy. We wasn't eating no meat. What did we take over there? Rice, silk, tobacco, sugar, oil, grain. Those are the things that you needed. And because it was such of abundance, you had to have it for yourself. Huh? So we got bamboozled. We got manipulated. But they did these people over here first in the Caribbeans and everything. So when, by the time they brung them over here, they was already trained to to civilize us. That's it. So the Indians that came from the Caribbeans and the Jamaicans and stuff like that, they came over here to civilize. I mean, to civil. to civilize us into the British way. Whether it's Scotland, remember the Scotland, French, England, Ireland, Dutch, wherever these people was at, that was Britain that was doing these things. So that's why this happened the way it happened, and it's continued to happen. It's even getting worse because of what we're doing. We can't blame nobody. What they're doing to us, whoever it is, what it is, however it is, we're doing it to ourselves. Huh? Same thing that we're complaining about. That's that somebody else is doing. We're doing it to ourselves. But we have to know the truth about the situation. We have to know the truth. What really happened? I mean, the roots. Who did Africans really come over here? Was these Africans? These what they calling Africans, but they didn't start calling them Africans until the 80s. They were Negroes. Before then, later on, I'll show you maps. This was the Indian Isles, the district. 18th century maps. India over here, India Superior. They didn't call that East Indian or whatever. The British called that India in 1947. But before that, it was Hindustan and Bharat. But you can find maps where you can see the shape of what they call in North America with Western Indian on it. You can find these maps. The Dutch got maps with India Superior over here. If you got an East, you got a West. These are the West Indies. Remember the West Indies in 1954. You can go get it. The British called the Jamaicans that was coming from over here that's going over there to Britain to work. It was calling them the Western Indians. The ones that was coming from North America. They will open it up for the Western Indians. That's what British called these people. And when you look at them, it was us. It was us, y'all. You and me. It was us. So let's check something out right quick on this triangle slave trade. Not the Pacific triangle slave trade. Let's check it out.
Imagine a trade network that shaped history but caused unimaginable suffering, the triangular slave trade. In the 18th to 19th centuries, European nations created a trade route connecting Europe, Africa, and the Caribbean islands. Step 1. Ships from Europe carried manufactured goods like guns, textiles, and alcohol to West Africa. These goods were traded for enslaved Africans, tearing families apart. Step 2. These enslaved people were forced onto ships in brutal conditions, enduring the Middle Passage, a horrifying journey across the Atlantic. Many died before reaching the Caribbean islands or the Americas. Step 3. In the Caribbean, enslaved Africans were sold to work on plantations, producing sugar, tobacco, and cotton, valuable goods shipped back to Europe, completing the triangle. This trade wasn't just about goods. It built empires on the suffering of millions. It's a dark chapter of history that reminds us of the fight for justice and equality. Imagine a trade network that shaped history.
It's crazy when you get the truth. Huh? It's crazy when you get the truth. They wouldn't got these people, but they was taking them to the Caribbean islands and all that stuff. They wasn't taking them to North America at first. And the people that they was getting was people that we was already familiar with. The people that already knew the soil, they already knew the job, they already knew what it takes. Because you have to understand, before the British cut all the roots out that was coming from North America to Africa, before they cut that off, we was trading with them. We was trading with them, they was trading with us. And according to what is that? Pangea, if anybody believe in that or whatever, it don't have to be true or not true, but I'm just talking about the documentation. According to that, Africa came from over here anyway. India came from over here anyway. So they really Indians. They're really Indians. And it's Christopher Columbus. Hold on, let me get something really straight with you guys. Christopher Columbus was banned in the 1400s. So it's impossible for him to come over here in the 1500s. It was Christopher Columbus Jr. I have the article, and just one person have to put in the comment, we would love to see that article. Bow, and I'm gonna give it to you. Huh? Bow, and I'm gonna give it to you. Just one person. It ain't gotta take 10. One person say they want to see that article. Bow. And I'm gonna give it to you. So all the trading and stuff that was done, let's go take a look. Let's go take a educational, diaphragmal, symbolical storyline look at what's going on here. Okay. Now we have a pie here. Huh? Total number imported 9.5 million from 1451 to 1870. So we know good and well, we know good and well that they didn't start off with slaves. They didn't start off with slaves. They was trading. They was trading roots and everything. So they had to experience the things before they decide they want to trade. They wanted it. So we was actually trading with Britain first. Britain was bringing, look, manufactured goods, cotton, tobacco, rum, was shipping over there. Manufactured goods they was bringing over here. Look, slave ivories and gum, manufactured guns. They didn't bring over here in North America. They went over there in the Congos with that. Now, the slaves is coming from, they're in the pink, they're coming from the area of the Congos in West Africa. But they didn't start doing this until the guns and stuff, and they start conquering. When they start conquering, that's when they start trading people. And the people was going up there first, and they was coming over to Jamaica, the Caribbean, Mexico, South America. Slaves, gold, rum was going. You hear what I'm saying? They didn't start bringing slaves over here until later. But look though, the Caribbean islands, 40%, Dutch, French, British. Huh? These are African enslaved in the Americans. So 40% of the people of the 9.5 million, 40% went to the Caribbean islands. That's in the blue. That's why it's so big. You see it right there? The Caribbean islands is the biggest arrow. Then we have the British North American, where they went to North America. Only 4%. Only 4%. Not saying that that's a small number. Because it's 9.5 million, it's in the thousands, but it's only 4%. There ain't millions and millions of slaves. Thousands of slaves. I would say a couple thousand maybe, but not no millions. 2% went in Asia and Europe. 16% went to Spanish America. Hmm? That's going up there into Mastical. 38% Portuguese, British, Brazil. So the large portion of the slaves, of the people that they came from Africa, as they would say, we ain't gonna deal with names or whatever, but modern time, this name Africa, the large portion from the Caribbean, from the Dutch, French, and the British, because that's Britain right there. 40%, the largest percent, went to the Caribbean islands. The next largest is 38%, the Portuguese. Huh? They came over here to Brazil. The next largest is Como estás bien? The Spaniard. 16%. Split that up. 8 went to Americans, 8 went to Spanish Caribbean. We can split it up because we don't know the percentage. I'm pretty sure it was less. A lot more probably came over here to the Americas. You see how now when they say the Americans and the Caribbeans, how they separating it, and they not saying the Americas, but when they talking they brought the slaves over here and they taking the Caribbeans, they calling Caribbeans the Americans because that's South America. 4%, the British brought them over here. They came to North America, as they say. Only 4%, and 2% went to Europe and Asia. Huh? 2% from Europe. I mean, the Europeans, the one that came and got them from went and got 'em and brought them over to Asia. I'm sorry about that. They took these people to Asia. 2% of the 9.5 million. But again, 4% only came over here in North America. So don't be fooled and bamboozled. Don't be fooled and bamboozled. You go study the triangle slave trade system. See what I'm saying? From 1451 to 1870. Once you go and go study the boats that the Europeans was building in the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, wasn't fitting nothing but started off to 20, ended up to ended up to 270 people plus supplies and stuff like that. When they started going into the 1800s, they started bringing a lot of people over here to implement the Trail of Tears. They started bringing over here in the 1800s and stopped in 1870. Hmm? That's when they stopped for a minute. But they was taking them over there. They started off taking them over there. They were shipping manufacturer guns. They were shipping them over there because they was taking over Congo, West Africa. They was taking over them. They was taking over Congo and shipping them to ports in West Africa. Remember that guy? I think in 1470 that built his own castle over here in West Africa. I forgot his name. He built his castle right next to his port and started naming things. Hmm? Don't think that these people that they went and got, all of them is our people, even though they might have some similarities. A lot of the people, I'm talking about this 4%, this 4%. The rest of the people that was slaved and experienced this brutality and all this stuff over here, these people was already here. These people was already here. The Americans, the Americas, the mound builders. There's portions of land. Let me see, huh? There's portions of land all over the Americans that they built cities on top of, and you can see buildings up under it. Buildings. They didn't get over here into California, as they call it today, Cali Alley, Alley, Alley. They didn't get over here to the 1700s. We didn't experience none of that slavery and stuff like that. We didn't experience none of that until later on, until they conquered the 1700s. What they call them? Anthropology people came over here and sought these things out and seen that it was good. And they seen it was good. They seen where the gold was at over here in Cali. And they wanted it. Huh? Of course, some gold coming over there from Africa. Of course, there's some. But there's so much over here. The conductions are made with gold. Hmm? So our people did this to ourselves as we're doing to this day. Now we was taught these things. If we would have just left them alone, whatever energy came to us, if we would have just left those people alone, far as not trading, we was already trading with him. I'm talking about their systems. If we wouldn't implement, get their ways out your house, get their food, their comfort zone. Get them out of your house. Get every other nation other than the nation that's here in North America. Get it out your house. Quit eating all that meat. Every now and then, okay, fine and dandy, but every single day, quit eating that meat. These manufactured goods, cans and stuff, these luxuries, things that entice the eyeball, hmm, got us in the situation that we're in now. We have a whole history that's going to be written in the days to come. Our history is not cool. And the only thing that we want to do is blame everybody else. Blame the Europeans. Blame the so-called Jews. We're going to blame these people instead of looking at the three fingers that's pointing at yourself. That's how you heal yourself. If you know some wrong was done, admit you're wrong and take the time to heal yourself. Hmm? You take the time to look down deep and heal yourself. And as you heal yourself, they're going to heal it. Good times, good written, and goodbye.